Hello peeps, this is Smitty, and this may look like a regular Game Boy or Game Boy Color, but this is so much more. This is the Funny Playing Game Boy Color. Stay tuned. So this is a unique console coming from the Funny Playing team, and you can tell it's a Funny Playing because of the FPGBC, which is Game Boy Color obviously. So this thing is a very cool and unique thing, as this is not an actual Game Boy PCB. So this is a modded custom GCP from Funny Playing, and this kit itself costs about 80 to 100 bucks. So you don't even have to get a modded or you don't have to get a Game Boy Color and do a screen hack anymore. This is all in one kit, and the cool thing about this is that the screen is is a bigger display than the traditional screen. So to get into the options, there's a lot of options on this. First, with the backlit, that's the lowest for the backlit, and you can obviously go up higher to a point where it is freakishly bright on the screen. I like to have it about right there. That's my sweet spot. You can control the volume by going down, doing this, or which is the regular volume thing. To get to the screen, all you have to do is press this button, which is the volume button, and press it in instead of pressing it up and down. So you can still control the volume with this and down like that. But to get back into it, you can have full screen, 4x4, and that's the normal one. This is just the X4P, and then that's the full screen. So if you prefer the original resolution, you can do that. I prefer using the full screen. The core, depending on what game it is, you can go from Game Boy to Game Boy Color. If you go Game Boy, obviously it's going to be different at the end, so I'll go down in the end and see. I think you have to reset it to get to that, which I'm not going to reset it, but it will change the resolution, or change the core, which will change the palette, which you can change the color palette, the Game Boy Color palette, with this button as well. The speed is something you might want to work with as well, because this is not a perfect rendition of the Game Boy Color. It does speed up the game a little bit depending on which one you use. This setting that it currently is at is about as close to the actual Game Boy Color. Again, this is not emulation. This is actually a PCB they made, but it's not a perfect PCB. So obviously there's a battery down there. It does have a rechargeable Type-C battery along with the headphone jack. So I want to save, okay, and then speaker works really well. And again, the shell actually comes on the site. There's I believe 3 or 4 colors to choose from: the black, the white, this color, and I believe there's another transparent color to choose from. Look at the back. There is the battery for the unit. That is my Zelda, obviously, to play with it. And then again, the Type-C. The one thing that's very interesting about this is obviously this takes, this is a pretty novice handheld to put together, but I actually was even able to buy this built from a local game store. Again, typically if you buy from Funny Playing, you can get this completely done for about 80 to 100 bucks. Typically around closer to the 80 for the most part, because usually on a pretty decent sale. my local game store because they spent time building it. Again, it's not a hard thing to build. It's actually easier to build this than to mod a Game Boy, which I'm in the middle of. I need to get a screen to mod a Pokemon Gengar Game Boy, which you will see in the near future. But they were charging about $140, which I had store credit from trading in some games that I no longer needed. So for me, it was a fair deal. For them, they were happy because they feel like they got a bargain. And all those games were ones that we're never going to play again, that were like Nickel Fritz games. They were, to me, they weren't more than $5 games, or I would have just put it on eBay myself. So I got pretty good credit on it. So let me know what you guys think. I highly recommend this if you are a Game Boy enthusiast, because it is easy to put together. You can put this together in less than 10 to 15 minutes. It's really that simple, and the quality is great. Comment below, subscribe for more videos, and hopefully you guys continue to get your game on. Peace.